up. Still in the hoodie and serious, straight up. I pray to these streets like they biblical, straight up. Jump out the road, Rey Mysterio, straight up. 2 ounces stashed in my stereo, oh God. You can get killed for subliminals, oh God. I'm a big dog, you a Cheerio, oh God. I don't gotta talk loud, bet you hear me though, straight up. Catch me now, I'm bad in traffic, 21. Waiting for the deal, I was trapping, 21. Waiting for the deal, I was putting that fire on niggas just to feed my family, oh God. 21 gang, I'm a bandit, straight up. I ain't have a father, he a bandit, 21. Me and mine, so I went and picked up a little bit of weed in the 9, yeah. Pile down there did a dime, yeah. And he still got another 9, yeah.
What's up, guys?
My boy 100 rats in the chain.
Today is August 28th, the year of our Lord, 2020. And I am having fun. That's right. I'm having fun. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I'm having fun. It goes back to what I said last week, at the end of last week's show, about sports not coming back. Somebody asked for part of my close personal friend initiation was at to tell my hottest take. And I think my hottest take was, I was fine. I didn't really care if sports came back. So I'm happy now, not because they left and came back, but I'm happy because I do think people are kind of starting to see the jig. Now, whether anything comes of people seeing the jig, who knows? Who knows? But I do think people seeing the jig is coming. And the jig in question that I think people are seeing is how much the people, the companies, the organizations, the individuals in charge of whatever you're thinking of. It can be in charge of whatever you're thinking of. How much those people in charge are willing to do to stay in charge. Like they are playing dumb. Right to your face, right to my face. And more so, it feels like the jig is seeing how much work that the billionaires don't have to do because the media does it for them. Particularly basketball media, the sports media. So I don't like it. I don't like it. We'll get into it more later, but I don't like that part. But I do like that people are starting to see the jig because the owners, I felt like they just kind of wanted to get the focus back to coronavirus, right? Like coronavirus, we can wait out. It'll be a vaccine for that. We don't know when. You know what I'm saying? October, next year, 10 years from now. But there's an end date for that. We just don't know the end date. It ain't no end date for racism. There's no vaccine there. Nothing on that front that I've read about, at least. And the media, like, carrying their water. Like, I'm thinking of Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated in particular. And it's people. It's not only him, though. I say his name, like, to put a name on it, but it's not only him. I couldn't only single him out. But people are playing dumb, like, well, I mean, what could they possibly do about this? Bucks and Magic want to boycott. What could the owners possibly do? Like, what could 28 billionaire white men, 1 billionaire white woman in New Orleans, and Michael Jordan do? What could they do? And the answer is whatever the fuck they want. Like, are you kidding me? They can do whatever they want. And it's not as much about them, like, getting together and calling Trump, Donnie, we need you to veto racism. Like, we know you passed that bill in 2017. It's bringing a lot of heat on us. So if you could just run that one back, we'd be A-okay. But it is more so, I think, about the owners' ability to get in touch with the politicians in their city, the politicians in their state. Start dictating where this money goes, who this money goes to on a local level. I hope it's not a thing where the NBA should fix America. Impossible. Impossible. Not their job, and also literally impossible. But our state, our city, the shit we can control, We could probably do a little work on that. We could probably do a little work on that. You know what I'm saying? Like these, the back the blue nights. Dog, I'm getting these fucking texts. It's like, can we count on your vote for Trump? Fuck no, you cannot count on my vote for Trump. Sorry about that. But yeah, like Milwaukee is brought up. People know Sterling Brown, Milwaukee Bucks player, had an incident. I think he either parked in a wrong spot or was over a line or was parked in a handicap spot and like is on tape being like brutalized by the police. And I saw a tweet I wish I had it to give them credit. It's like police brutality is like redundant at this point. Brutality is the policing. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a guy like Sterling Brown, a guy on your team, in your backyard, get beat like that or have that kind of incident on camera, and then the Bucks had, I think I saw 2 different like back the blue night police appreciation, whatever, and gave like the game ball to like the police chief or some shit like that. So yeah, that's the shit you can control. In Minnesota, a college like broke their ties with the police as security. So it can be done. It can be done. Get you an actual security company, right? One that's concerned about doing things the right way because they know there are repercussions. You hire somebody security to watch your football game and they beat somebody up, shoot somebody in the back. It's going to be repercussions. The police, not so much. Not so much. And it really, again, getting through the wire. I'm in season 4 now. I'm getting closer to, I thought there were more seasons than 5, honestly. I don't know why. I had like 7 or 8 in my mind. Like I was hunkering down for like, there's going to be a little trip. I'm almost done. So this just kind of reminds me, like the people in power, like they're not really in power. You know what I mean? Like they're just kind of like scared of the next person who's in power, who is scared of the next person who's in power. Like, oh no, I can't do this as an officer. What will my captain say? Oh, I can't do this as a captain. What will my lieutenant say? Oh, what will my like? It just keeps going, and it's just like a cycle of fear. And I'm not sure how much of it is warranted because I'm not a police. Because fuck that. But it's like these people, like the power they do have, the literal Secretary of Education is part of the family that owns the Orlando Magic. Like all these teams are in major cities in their state. They have pull. They have major pull. And to act like they don't is very naive, I think. But I also think that we're at a point where if you think they're going to use this power or this pull for you or for anyone other than themselves or the people in their circle, I think that's naive as well. These people have consistently shown what side they're on. Like as I record this, I saw a tweet earlier from Nick Albiacoco. Coco's pretty good. With a video, like some guys inside Citi Field, the Mets stadium. It says, "Holy shit, Rob Manfred, the MLB commissioner, is trying to force the Mets to pull a social justice awareness stunt tonight by having the players symbolically leave the field at 7:10 before returning an hour later to play at 8:10, even though the players don't want to play." Even though they don't want to play. And it came out, I think the Mets are playing right now, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. I don't even know, man. Who's even still playing? Who's even alive anymore, bro? Postponed. Okay, so Miami and the Mets I see was postponed. But also the Mets GM came out and said this stuff was unfounded, which kind of lets me know that it was probably founded. But I feel like that's how they see it, right? That's how they look at this. This is for optics. This is for photo opportunities. This is for stunts, publicity stunts. A nice picture. You take a picture of the players kneeling or something like that, and you tweet it out from the Mets account, and you get a bunch of retweets and some goodwill, and it's great. So we're at a point. I mean, we've been at a point. You can't change his mind. You're not changing those people's You know what I'm saying? And now we're at a point like it's media members we see with pretty clear agendas. And it's like, okay, listen, you're more than entitled to have your agenda. You got to push that shit over there, though, man. You got to push that over there. And that's something I need to do better at as well. Right? Like, I think of a guy like Woj. Woj get the news first. But he's also quick to, you know what I'm saying, tear a guy to shreds. Like JR, call Kyrie a disruptor. And, like, right now, it's too many good avenues to get news from, right? I like getting it first from Woj, but if I see it literally 48 seconds later from Chris, like, you know what I'm saying? If I get this, it was like, wow, I have this news first. What am I going to do? Retweet it and talk about it with everybody else. Even the people that show up 10 minutes late and get it from, you know what I'm saying, Legion Hoops, who's tweeting it via Chris Haynes, who's tweeting it via, like, you know what I'm saying? It's about the news, not who gets it first. This ain't like 1942. 1942 is ABC, CBS, right? So somebody getting it first was a big deal. Now, we all get it within literal seconds of each other. So be mindful of where you are going to get your news, right? Like ESPN is a network, just like Fox News is a network. Fox News got an agenda. ESPN may or may not have an agenda. So just be mindful of that. And again, it's something I need to be mindful of myself. So the protest, in general, that happened Wednesday, when that first came out, when it came out that the Bucks were not going to take the court against the Magic, I felt so pleased, man. I felt proud. I felt proud, not even as an NBA fan. Like, I don't have no skin in the Bucks game, but that was just an enormous stance to take. One that was not theirs to take, for one, but they chose to do it. And two, this wasn't like the message. It would be the same if the 8 seed Magic came out and did it. It'd be the same exact thing. But this is the favorite, the 2-time MVP, right? On pace for 70 wins. Those Bucks were the ones that were taking this stand. So I admit I felt pleased. I felt very proud of what the players were doing. And when it came out that the games were going to resume so quickly, I felt disheartened. Not even so much about like the length of the boycott, because if you're familiar, there was a 1964, I think. I think that was the All-Star game that got boycotted. Here we go. Guys, I found the article. But yeah, 1964. Yes, 64. 1964 NBA All-Star Game. This is, I think, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson, Tommy Heinsohn. Think that level of old. And it was going to be the first televised NBA All-Star Game. And hours before the game, they told the commissioner, they said they had a list of demands that they wanted. They wanted, I know they said they wanted more trainers. Yeah, they wanted athletic trainers on every team. They wanted a pension because, you know, they wasn't making shit an hour back then. Making minimum. Elgin Baylor probably made $3.15 an hour to score 29 a game for the Lakers. So yeah, they want to improve playing conditions. No more Sunday afternoon games after the Saturday night game. And they told the commissioner this several months earlier, and they weren't heard. So they took the chance. The first All-Star game to be televised, 1964, and they said, we're not playing. Like, we're just not going to play until you meet our demands. Simple and plain. And it was owners stormed in there. Today, Lakers owner told Elgin Baylor if he doesn't get out there, he's through. Baylor's response, sorry. Jerry West Short said to us threateningly, if you don't play in this game, you're probably never going to play again. Jerry West said, I'm never going to play a game then. Like, that's the power. And when you utilize it, listen, they had them. The game was delayed 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And they had the pension, they had the trainers, they had the better schedule. So when I say I was disheartened about the protest yesterday, it wasn't so much about the like 1 or 2 games, 48 hours or whatever, because you see what can get done. You see what can get done that quickly when, you know what I'm saying, the people with the talent are making the calls. And of course, it was a different era, but I mean, were things really that, like, you know what I'm saying? They were still boycotting things. It was more what's going on with them, which I think I saw the average salary back then was like $7,500, which, nah, I would have just stayed in school, dude. You couldn't, I'd rather go be a plumber or some shit like that. So I say that to say that we were willing to believe them Wednesday when they went on strike. So I do think it's fair to wait and see and find out, you know, what they were told, what concessions were made. But on the other hand, I was talking about it with my homeboy Nance. Shout out to Nance. And he said this will make a lot of sense to some people and no sense to other people. Like, you throwing out the little joker, you leading with the little joker. You hoping your partner got the big joker. But if you don't know for sure, you're fucked. Right? Because everything after that changes because of the way you led with that. So they led with this. I guess the big joker would be if they left the bubble. That would feel like the big joker. And if they don't play, like, they're not gonna get scab players for the postseason. You know what I'm saying? People want to see LeBron and Luka and Kawhi and all that. They don't want to see the best of the G League or international guys, respectfully. Right? And I say not to downgrade those guys, but we want to see the best of the best. It's why it's such a big industry. So for them to go back, or I guess come back to play with, I guess, nothing tangible that we've seen, it's disheartening. But again, we don't know the full story. I'm more than willing to wait until we see what came of this, what happens. Because again, the same way it changed in 24, 48 hours, this could all flip again. So I'm willing to wait. I don't feel or think any less of these players. I hope you don't either. I know people do. You know, they feel how they feel. But I know personally, I don't think any less of them. You know, I do think it's fair to say, you know, you were in this fight yesterday. Like, are you with us or are you not with us? Because the players are in control, not the owners. We saw it when Missouri boycotted for my man on the hunger strike. They had answers soon. Talent pretty much always gets to do what it wants to do. Like, it always, at any level. Think about your job, your school, whatever. Who are the best or the talented was, they get away with more shit. That's just how it go. That's how it go. And the owners here, like, they have the money, but it's because the players, right? They didn't get it because they real estate or stealing land from Native American, whatever, however they got their money. But they, like, the reason these teams are doubling and tripling in value is because the players. So if you, like, not about that, you know, frontline fighting life, that's fine. Because it ain't for everybody. And the players are unfairly being asked to fix a problem that, one, affects them, and two, that they didn't create. So it's fine. I think it's fine everybody not a frontline stander or marcher or whatever. But at the same time, when you make that stand, when you play that little joker, and you go back to work in a couple days, people are going to rightfully be able to say, you know, now wait a minute now. And 2 days ago, we was on our fuck the NBA, and now we're playing games Saturday. Was this about like a day off, 2 days off? And it's no half stepping on these issues. Like, the NBA, they conceded, quote unquote, conceded the shirts and the Black Lives Matter shirt and the Black Lives Matters print on the court, the commercials, all that. That ain't gonna get it done. We tried that. It didn't work. And I don't know what the next step is, but I do think from some of the things I've been seeing, it feels like the players are more committed to go back to, like, their own neighborhoods, their own cities where they play and live, and to give back consistently. Money, time, effort, all that, you know, after the bubble, after the Rona. So we will see. We will see. Again, I was a little disappointed to hear it, but we don't know all the story. Right? We only know what Woj and Chris Mack. Like, you know what I'm saying? We know what they've told us. We haven't seen anything tangible yet. So I think it's fair to wait. Now, if it comes out that they didn't get anything tangible, that criticism is going to be there, and I think it'll be valid. But I am willing to wait and see for that at least. And kind of related, kind of not, just speaking of the bubble, I'm really glad Paul George said what he said about the state of like his mental health. And he said he admitted, he's like, I probably wasn't taking my mental health serious or as seriously as I could have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been watching this, you know, off and on. I think the first week of bubble games I didn't watch. So I've been watching for a couple weeks. These guys been there, I think, since the first week of July. Second week of July, maybe. And like, if you're a contender, if you don't want to, if you're a Raptor or a Laker or a Clipper, it's no end close for you. Right? So when Paul George is like, yeah, I was depressed, I get it, dude. Listen, I'm not in the bubble, and I'm depressed. So I get it, PG. Like, I'm a fan of his. It is very fun to laugh at him, but I'm still a fan. Still think tremendous player. And it was something that we like talked about last. It's like there's something off with him. It didn't seem physical, but something's going on. And this is what it was. A lot of people saying, you know, that was a cop-out for bad play. That's not really our business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe Paul George. I have no reason not to believe him. But that ain't our business. Like, this resort shit, it's got to be getting old for them, man. Like, again, they've been there almost 2 months now. Like, you done did all the fishing. I done hung out with the gang. We can't leave. Like, we can't get drunk, right? Like, we in the playoffs playing every other day. So it's just downtime. Well, you know how you feel. It's great hotel first couple days. Like, day 3 or 4, you like, all right, I'm ready to, you know what I'm saying, get back and not be in this, like, space. Like, it's paradise here, but I'd rather be home. So now it's just downtime. Like, the Raptors closed out their series last Sunday. We're supposed to start it, you know, until the postponed games, but they're probably not going to play another game for like over a week. So it's just a week of just downtime. And again, we done been to Disney World so many times, dog. And they got another 4 to 6 weeks. Right? Like, we got the second round. That's 2 weeks. Conference finals, 2 weeks. Like, depending on how long your team lasts, of course, you're going to be there for a minute. So if he said he got anxiety, he got depression, I get it, man. It feel like cabin fever, like to the max. And this is me speaking as, like, I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. So I can imagine people talking about, you know, how they miss their family. One of the things I've seen is people saying how much or how nice it's been to, like, really get to be there every day with their family, because they're not usually able to do that. And so you do that, and for 4 months, and then for the last 2 months they've just been in a bubble. It's like, my teammate's cool, but damn, man, can I see my wife? Can I see my son, my daughter, like my parents, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. I'm glad Paul George said that. I'm glad he said he spoke to, I think, a therapist or some sort of professional. I'm glad he took those steps. So salute to Paul George for that. I don't really have a transition to this next thing, but it just happened today and I did want to say it. So I went to Popeyes. This is not an ad, but I went to Popeyes before I talked to Grant Hill, which you can catch on Legends Live. But I went to Popeyes. When I got to Popeyes, pulled up to the drive-thru. Now, the dining room is open. They had it on the sign. Dining room is open. I'm not going in the dining room. I go to the drive-thru. I get up to the window, hand them my card. They stick the card machine out the window. Like, it ain't no, I ain't touching that card, Jack. And everybody in there, mask and gloves, all that. But they stuck the card thing out the window. So I did that, paid. Okay. Then they brought the food to me on a tray where she was holding the tray and, like, held it out the window and down so I could get my food off of the tray. But the dining room is open. Like, do you understand why, like, something's wrong with that picture? And that's not on Popeyes. That's not on them, or it's not on the employees, I'll say. But it feels like if you're taking the rightful precaution, right? Like, I'm kind of amazed more people. I think about it like anytime I'm at a drive-through. They got on gloves, but they had on gloves when they touched the last person card. You know what I'm saying? So for them to be like, nah, you insert the chip. Nah, you take the bag. This shit real, man. This shit real. I won't say it was the reminder I needed that the Rona is real. But boy, oh boy, this shit is real. I got some more random shit I want to say that I don't really have any kind of segue to. Bad week for segues. Bad week for segues. Unfire name alert. Engelbert Humperdinck. That's a real name. And it is on fire. Next random thought. Shaq got swept 6 times in his career. I couldn't believe it. 6 times? He got swept 5 times in 6 years. 5 in 6 years. And I only noticed it because the other day, Barkley said I was never swept in the best of 7. Hey, credit to him. We call that a technicality. Because he was swept in a best of 5, but not best of 7. Shaq's been swept in a best of, I think all of his were best of 7. But 5 sweeps in 6 years for the most dominant player I've ever seen is why I knew he had a couple on the resume. I didn't know it was 6. Like, I might got to change that most dominant to, I don't know, Devin Booker maybe? Devin Booker never been swept out of the playoffs. So, I don't know. Another random thought. Y'all know the song Legacy? It's by Offset, Travis Scott, 21 Savage. It's on the 2K soundtrack is where I hear it, I feel like, every day of my life. It's a fine song. But there's a line on there where 21 says, every nigga cross me, dog, on God, I'm going to catch him. I don't care if it's in 10 years. You ever think about, like, I feel like he said that with one person in mind. Like somebody he ain't got yet. So I just like to imagine it's a guy out there just like he's got it in his calendar. Like statute of limitations. Like if I can just make it to August 8th, 2021. Like I'm out of 21's scope. Like I'll have made it. And you get home from work that day and you walk in and it's a surprise party. Surprise. That's what they all say. And it's his wife and all his co-workers and his friends. And it's a big banner. And it's like, happy 10 years since you crossed 21 Savage Day. Because that's something I would celebrate. I'd celebrate that. Like just, you know what I'm saying, just skating by, just beating the odds. Everybody's having a good time. It's hors d'oeuvres. Your wife got the good hors d'oeuvres. We got champagne. And then it's a knock at the door. Y'all not expecting anybody. Everybody's already there. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? You think it's, yeah, who could it be? One of the neighbors. You look through the peephole and you just see the knife in between 21's eyes. And you just like, oh no. You had your days wrong. It actually been 9 years. 362 days. Because you and 21 are on different time. And the kind of time he's on is within this statute of limitation. I'm going to kill you and your family. Next random thought. Ever since we saw Bron reading, quote unquote, the autobiography of Malcolm X, I just imagine him just getting to different points in the book, just in disbelief. Like the joke this week is that it's all these pictures of LeBron on like the first page of a book. And I just feel like LeBron, like there's just, I mean, that's my favorite book of all time. So it's just one of those, there's so much stuff in there that I can just see Bron just reading through it. He just gets to like page 17. He's like, man, yo, this Malcolm guy's all right, man. The guy had a rough childhood. He made it out. He beat the odds. He's still reading it. He's getting on and on. And he's like, wait a damn minute. Hold on. That's what happened to Malcolm X? I was wondering why I hadn't heard any of his takes on the recent NBA protests or anything over the last 50 plus years. Really? Savannah? Bronny, are you guys seeing this? It was his own niggas that shot. No. Maverick didn't say anything about any gunplay. No. We'll be playing tomorrow. I should have finished that chapter last night. Bron tweeted that, fuck this, we standing up. He was on page like 18. He got to page 26. And Alex Haley was, spoiler alert, Malcolm X dies. Alex Haley's doing the closing word of the book. And he's just like, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Next random thought. And then we'll get to the question. It was just a lot. It was just a random ass week, man. Jacob Blake, it's not too much I can say that hasn't already been said. I saw it, man in Washington shot 7 times in the back. He's currently paralyzed. Though I keep reading currently paralyzed like it might change. So I don't know if it's like a swelling thing. Like if they wait for some swelling to go down, maybe he gets some movement below his waist, which fingers crossed for that. But even now, he is handcuffed to the bed. I'm not sure where they think he's going to go. And the 17-year-old kid, fuck his name, fuck him. That guy killed 2 white people, man. I didn't know that. I knew he killed people. I didn't know they was white till I saw like the pictures of him. And those are heroes, man. Those are people, to my understanding, that I know one guy was trying to take him down with his skateboard and had him on the ground and got shot in either the stomach or the chest. And the reason I say that they're white and he's white is because I haven't heard anybody talk about what about white on white crime. Right? Like anytime any black person kill any black for any reason. Because again, that's just crime. It's not black on black, white on white crime. It's just crime. Crime is area related, not race related. But I ain't heard nobody say, what about Branson, Missouri? You know what I mean? Like, what about Bismarck, North Dakota? Or South Dakota, whichever one of the Dakotas. So that was just a random thought I had. And along with that, do y'all remember? They said this 17-year-old kid, or 17-year-old man, I should say, because Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old kid and he got shot like he was a man. Trayvon Martin was 17. He got shot and treated like a man. They went through, it's like, oh, there's some marijuana in his autopsy report. Meanwhile, this literal killer, they're like, oh man, he wanted to be a policeman. Here he is scrubbing some graffiti. And so I asked, do you remember the people that you grew up with in your neighborhood, whatever, middle school, elementary, high school? I'm thinking high school, but whatever it is for you. Do you remember the people that aspired to be cops? Like they wanted to be police? You remember how weird the motherfuckers were? You know what I'm saying? And it's a thing, like everywhere got police, so everybody knows, everybody went to school with one. You might even have one like as a friend or anything. I don't have no cop friends. But you just know how weird they are. And they always weird. It's like a power trip, but you don't have power. And it's like, boy, once I get some power, everybody gonna feel this shit. So once they said that, aspiring policeman, man, oh man. I saw somebody, they was like, just caught a terrorist? Like, is that, why ain't just save the space? Aspiring policeman, you aspiring terrorist. Aspiring brutalizer. So, I don't know what'll come of that. I'm sure he'll get a slap on the wrist and sent to juvie. He got water and they was asking him how he felt. And all right. So, but maybe y'all have. I haven't heard any what about white on white crime. I ain't heard nobody asking, what about Sacramento? I'm just thinking of cities in my mind that I think are white. I don't know. Branson might be like 68% Mexican. I just don't know. I think that's the end of my random thoughts. But I do still want to talk about the autobiography of Malcolm X briefly. I don't do a lot of book talk. That's my favorite book of all time. And I think the first time I read it, I was in college. And since college, I try to reread it every couple of years. Just because as I grow, I feel like I pick up so much more. Like so much more about just the kind of man that Malcolm was, his strengths, his weaknesses, his flaws. And I think that's what I really love about the book. Because that book is, to a point, I won't spoil it for LeBron. I know he's on page 37. That book is really what a human being can make himself into, like if he puts his mind to it. Not even on no corny shit, man. Not even on corny shit. And I won't spoil it. Malcolm dies. But like the guy was in jail for years. Taught himself to read in prison. He was like a pickpocket. He was like pimping women. He was burglary. He got sent to the pokey for burglary. And in there, he, taught himself how to read, found religion, straightened up, quit doing drugs. He was a drug addict when he went in and cleaned himself up. And he would talk about it. He was like, I'm someone who, like, I learned to speak by reading the dictionary and writing the words, writing every single word, learning what it meant. That was my vocabulary. And he was speaking at Oxford. He talked about, he's like, he spoke, I think, at Michigan State. And he was like, I went to school not far from here, and the teacher, told me I should go be a carpenter. I wanted to be a lawyer, but he said a lawyer is not a realistic job for a nigger. And he's like, and now here I am at Michigan State, speaking thousands of people here. So I like that it shows what you can become. I hate that it showed it, but I also like it showed what happens when you put too much faith in man. You put too much faith in man. That's the part I won't spoil, because I would love to like read that book with fresh eyes. Would love to read it with fresh eyes. But yeah, you see what happens when you put that much faith in a man. And when that goes wrong, everything went wrong. Like it might be time for my reread of that. I found the audio version with the late great Earl Hyman. If you watch the Cosby Show, he was the grandfather, the light-skinned grandfather, Cliff Huxtable's pops. So he's like a Broadway voice actor, and like when I tell you he makes those words jump off the page, if I could find that, I can't find it to purchase, I'd pay $100 for it, more, on a tape, CD, whatever. So if you haven't read that book, I'd highly recommend it. It's a lot of gems in there just on life. It's a lot of things, again, to learn from. Like Malcolm had some thoughts on women that I think were probably more commonplace at the time. It doesn't make them right. They were still uninformed and not good takes, but that's part of it. Like, I don't want to read the book where he's like, no, I was pretty much just born with every, word in my head. I knew it all. I went to school, all that. So, okay, that's the last random thought that I like, the autobiography of Malcolm X and Malcolm X. And now it is question time. Okay, I lied. One more random thought. And this is just something I'll leave y'all with. Who y'all think is getting the weed inside the bubble? Right? Like, Clay's not there. Those guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that was one of the concessions. If we go into this bubble, it ain't going to be no drug testing. So who's, like, you know what I'm saying? You think Disney sponsored that? You think Silver bring it in himself? JaVale McGee? Like, I don't know. That's the last random thought. Okay, now we get into the questions. First question from G. Gwyn 6936. You've got one meal left to eat before you die. What are you choosing? Simple and plain. I need a Puccini's large double pepperoni. I need a shrimp po' boy on a baguette that is as long as my arm. I need a wheelbarrow of Superman ice cream, the original Superman out of Detroit ice cream, and I need a McDonald's Sprite large with light ice. Because that McDonald's soda that's that raw, boy. That's that pure, man. That shit'll clear your sinuses. So that I'm ready to eat that. And after that, you can do with me what you will. Cut off my head, inject me, electric chair, whatever, man. I'll be like, let me finish this gallon of Superman ice cream. Next question from Will McKay. What's an NBA trade you'd love to see this offseason? It's one I've said before, and it's not even a particularly, sexy one, I guess. But I just want Lonzo Ball in Chicago. I want him in Chicago. So I think the basis of a deal, it works financially. Lonzo for Lauri Markkanen. And again, I think Lonzo just needs to be somewhere where it's like, you are our guy. Right? LA, he wasn't a guy. He didn't get the whole, or not long term. New Orleans, more so the guy, like by far his best year, but he's still splitting touch, like Ingram, Drew Holiday. You know what I'm saying? I would like to get him to Chicago and be like, your job is to get Zach LaVine and Wendell Carter Jr. easy buckets. Ideally, Lauri. Like he'd be tough to put there, but you got to give up something to make it worth it for the Pelicans. They have all the picks. They don't want any of those other players. But boy, a Lauri and Zion front court is interesting. It's interesting. I don't know who you stopping defensively. I don't know who they were stopping defensively anyway. I just think it'd be interesting to see a Lauri Markkanen and Zion front court, and I try to work out the rest. So that's a little basic ass trade I would like to see. L. Broads asks, can you see what's going on right now, the boycotting in the NBA happening in the NFL? I genuinely can't see it. Not a chance. Not a chance, L. Broads. And it's kind of the discouraging part about the NBA and Major League Baseball. That money is guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? NFL is not a chance because that is legit a sport where you'll trade or cut a Pro Bowl All-Pro guy because it's almost time to pay him. It was like, hey, man, DeAndre Hopkins might want a new deal in 3 years. We should sell now. That ain't going to happen in the NBA. Yeah, I feel like it happens some in baseball, but it's more like, okay, we've had you for 5 years of service. Like that Mookie Betts, you're a small market team. You're not going to pay them long term. You flip them then. Okay. But NFL, not a chance. Not a chance. Like the teams make the NFL. That's what they market. The Patriots, the Cowboys, you know what I'm saying? In the NBA, it's the players. It's LeBron, it's Kawhi, it's Giannis, it's whoever. So not a chance. Not a chance in the NFL. And again, that's not their fault. It's more of a function of their league and how fucked up that their, I guess CBA is. But no, I can't see it either. Yo, bros. Next question is, how fast would you hire Nate McMillan if you were the Chicago Bulls? He's my number one candidate and wasn't sure if others felt this way. I like McMillan to Chicago. I like that move a lot. So we're in lockstep there. I feel like he's the right level of disciplinarian. He's the right level of defense first, which is what they need. But I also haven't heard of any players like having grief with him. I know it was some talk, like I guess Oladipo and he were, I don't know, on the outs or whatever. I don't know how true that is. So who knows? But after Boylan, he feels like, okay, like I'm less strict than Boylan. I'm not going to call a timeout when we're down 85 points with 7 seconds left. But at the same time, yeah, that's a young team. They probably need some discipline. I think McMillan would do well there. And I get why they let him go. It sounds like they have D'Antoni in the bag, which all these deals are agreed upon months before we find out. So if they've got D'Antoni in the bag, that's an upgrade. I like Nate McMillan, but I don't think it's a hot take that D'Antoni's a better coach. But I do think Nate McMillan got like the short end of the stick here. If they got swept by the Heat, they did not have Sabonis this year. Last year, lost in the first round, did not have Oladipo. And I believe it was the year before. I think that was the year They lost to Cleveland in 7. But for the series, they outscored that team by 40 points. Like, that was like a weird series, but you took the team that went to 8 straight, or the guy that went to 8 straight finals, and you took him to 7 in the first round. You didn't beat the best player of this generation. Tough scene. And this year, even more so this year, I don't know what they expected him to do. Like, he had no Sabonis, his lone all-star. Oladipo and Brogdon, both of those guys, since the restart, regular and postseason, both those guys were shooting under 40% from the field. Under 40% from the field. Jeremy Lamb was having a great year. He got hurt. And I hear a lot, it's like his offense wasn't modern. They need to shoot more threes. I get it. But I do need to know who is shooting these threes. Right? Because Oladipo is a good shooter, but he's not like a sniper. He's not taking 10 a game. He the last 3 years under Nate McMillan, he's taken, or I guess 2.5 with his injuries, he's taken more threes than he ever has. Brogdon too. Like, Brogdon this year had a career high in usage. Ball was in his hands more than it's ever been in his career, and he had a career low in 3-point percentage. So some of that, I think that's just like the nature of the players you have, right? Like, it was a story that TJ Warren just started taking threes this year. He took 3.5 a game, not even 1 a quarter. Miles Turner's an average 3-point shooter. I think he shot like 4 a game, like 35, 36%. Is that like he and Justin, that's who you want taking 9 threes a game? Sabonis is not a 3-point shooter, despite Billy Donovan's wishes his rookie year. So it feels like it's probably somewhat on him. Like, I won't absolve him of all the blame, but it does feel like a function of what he was given as a coach. Like, this is the function of playing 2 big men together in a league where like the Rockets don't play any big men. Right? Like, your main 2 guards, they're shooters, but they're not gunners. You got like Doug McDermott, TJ Leaf, but you put them in to shoot the threes, they're getting roasted on the other end. So I feel like he made do. Like, TJ Warren had the best year of his career under Nate McMillan. Jeremy Lamb was having a great year before he got hurt under Nate McMillan. Oladipo became an all-star, all-NBA player. Sabonis became an all-star, all-NBA caliber player. So I feel like that's the credit that Nate McMillan deserves. Like, you work with the players you have, and I feel like he did that. And again, that's not to say he deserved like a lifetime extension. They haven't been a top 10 offense, I don't think, since he's been there. And, some of those mid-rangers by design, and that does need to be modernized. It's just a bad shot. Even if it is what your guys prefer, you have to work into them. Okay, we have to, I ain't saying take all the threes. Like, ideally, in an ideal world, your offense comes down and shoots a corner 3 every single time. Every single time. You know what I'm saying? But that's just not how basketball works. And I've heard people telling me like they need, more motion to the offense. Let's say in the playoffs, they were playing a good team, a well-coached team, a team with multiple elite all-NBA caliber defenders. And I feel like the motion, like, people just kind of take that away in the playoffs. Like, what we see in the playoffs is, when it comes down to it, isolation ball. Finding mismatches, isolation ball. So you can run your motion with, Edmund Sumner and TJ McConnell if you want. The Heat they snuffing that out. They're not worried about that. I will say McMillan, the thing the Pacers didn't do that hurt them, they didn't make the Heat pay for playing non-shooters. The Heat were closing games with Bam, Jimmy, and Iguodala on the court. Just 3 non-shooters / bad shooters. And they didn't make them pay. So, again, McMillan, he's not perfect. I got a lot of, where you're only watching the playoffs. You don't watch 82 games of the Pacers. Of course not. Of course I'm not watching 82. Are you kidding me? Like, they would put me on like some kind of registry. I'd have to register. Like, when I move in a neighborhood, I got to tell my neighbor, I used to watch 82 games of the Pacers. I can't live within 300 yards of a school. I'd be on house arrest. So now I ain't watching 82 games of that. But we don't have to, you know what I'm saying, know what we see. Right? Do I have to watch 82 games to know that McMillan got home court advantage without his best player? And then you come to find out home court doesn't matter at all in the bubble. And that player gets hurt, doesn't play, is not a factor at all. Oladipo wasn't going to play, then played. I won't say probably shouldn't, but he didn't play very well. So I don't have to watch 82 games to see that. I've watched enough of the Pacers. And everybody thinks they're going to go from, Dwayne Casey to Nick Nurse or Mark Jackson to Steve Kerr. But it's also, remember when they let Vogel go? They thought they was going to upgrade on Vogel. And hadn't been out the first round since. Dwayne Casey, coach of the year, got fired. Last coach of the year that got fired, George Karl. George Karl got fired. I think they won 57 games. They fired him. And they went 5 years. I think 5 or 6 seasons without making the playoffs after that. So, yeah, everybody think they're going to get that. We're just Steve Kerr away. And you might be. But you might be getting, James Borrego or some shit like that. There was some talk that he had lost the team. And again, that's always tough. We just don't know, right? Maybe he lost the team. Maybe they were tired of the bubble, right? Maybe they just saw they were outmatched. It's we can't win here. I saw Pacers fans we should have won at least 2. Okay. I don't disagree, but you go home in 6 instead of 4. Does that make McMillan to keep his job? I don't know. And again, if you've got D'Antoni in the bag, you do it. But I think he's going to have his pick of the litter, man. It's going to be quite a few jobs. So if you've got, wink, wink agreement, sure. But I'll say this. Brett Brown recently got fired. And I say we as in black coaches, we don't get to be Brett Brown. We don't get to oversee the rebuild. And I hope Lloyd Pierce does. I hope he gets to, at the very least, see this team when it has more talent around him. And it was talk here of firing him this year. Right? Alvin Gentry just got canned. And again, I say all this for all these guys. This is not to say that all are perfect coaches that should have got 10-year extensions. But Alvin Gentry, he didn't get a full offseason to Zion. He didn't even get to see, his full team for a full season. He got Zion for 22 games. There was a story going around this week. Earl Watson. Earl Watson used to coach the Phoenix Suns. And what was it? Rich Paul. Rich Paul is Eric Bledsoe's agent. This is when Eric Bledsoe was in Phoenix. He wanted a new deal. Sarver didn't want to pay it. And because of that, somehow it led to Sarver wanted Earl Watson to fire Rich Paul, because Rich Paul is also Earl Watson's agent. And gave him 10 days to do it. It's you fire him or I fire you. And Earl Watson said he wasn't going to do that to a young black guy trying to make his name in the agent world. And I got a lot of respect for Earl Watson over that. I don't know if he's coaching anywhere now, but he made a choice. And you see, Rich Paul is a icon now. So I'm hoping that when he get on, they got a little something for the boy Earl Watson, because that's holding it down for the team. But it's we don't get that chance. We get fired over stuff like that, or not healthy teams. Rick Carlisle has not won a playoff series since they won that championship. Since they won the championship. And that's not to say he's a bad coach, but he got a chance to wait it out until they got to Luka and KP. And they still made the playoffs. So was Nate McMillan. You know what I'm saying? Terry Stotts. Terry Stotts had that Pelicans loss, that sweep. It was just an embarrassing loss the way they got dominated. Was that Alvin Gentry? I'll be damned. And that was Terry Stotts' third first-round loss in 4 years. He got to wait it out. They made the conference finals last year. Frank Vogel's last 4 years before this year, he missed the playoffs in Indiana, under 500 record. Lost in the first round. 29 wins, 25 wins. Those were his last 4 years. He took a year off and went from the Magic to not being good with the Magic to the Lakers. He got the Lakers job. He didn't have to be an assistant like Ty Lue. But Ty Lue got a championship. Like, I ain't heard Sam Cassell's name in the mix for gigs yet. I see him on the Clippers bench with Ty Lue. I feel like the only time we hear Becky Hammond's name is to say, why isn't she getting a chance? Meanwhile, this is about to be year 7 of the Steve Clifford experience, and he's never made it past the first round. Luke Walton missed the playoffs 3 straight years. Parted ways mutually. Wasn't even fired. Parted ways mutually. And he had a job 2 days later despite sexual assault allegations. Right? And Clifford Walton, like, admittedly, they had bad rosters, but that's kind of the point, right? Nobody was winning with what Alvin Gentry had for 82 games. That team wasn't good. Like, they just weren't good. It's like they looked disinterested in the bubble. All of that's on Alvin Gentry? I don't know. And I said those guys, like Carlisle, all those guys, Terry Starr, I think those guys are good coaches. And again, it's what happens when you get to coach through. You know what I'm saying? I think coaches can improve as well. But I don't know, because Ty Lue don't have a job. I don't know, because Earl Watson don't have a job. I think it's other like Jason Kidd, Mark Jackson. There's more to it probably why they don't have head coaching jobs. But man, oh man, like you would think Rick Carlisle is just like the all-time like leading winner in playoff games or some shit, the way he's talked about. And he's a great coach. But not a single playoff series win since that championship. So, next question. I'll get off my soapbox. Next question. What would you be demanding that these owners do? I think it's tough. It's very tough because you want tangible change. Change you can see and feel and know that it's there. But you also can't really ask them for things that they don't control. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking to the owners. They didn't shoot Jacob Blake. And it'd be nice to say, you know, we're not playing until the cops that shot Jacob Blake or the cops that shot Breonna Taylor or XYZ. We're not playing until they're arrested. But I think we've seen enough times, man, arrest, like, without a conviction, you know what I'm saying? It means a whole lot of nothing. Now, it's a step for sure. So I'd rather have it than not have it. I don't want to get that confused. But arrest without conviction, that mean nothing. They can't control that, you know, directly at least. But a couple things I would ask for. One, I would say, like, these Back the Blue police appreciation nights. No, sir. No, sir. Those are out of there. If we're going to do some appreciating, we're going to do some appreciating to, what's the organization? Everybody in the city, like ice cream. You know what I'm saying? We're going to appreciate everybody in Kenosha like ice cream. So I'm doing something like that. No more of those Back the Blue nights. I need a plan, like blueprint, dates, like not just lip service on how to get more people of color, more black people, more brown people, more women in the door of your organization. As assistant coaches, as trainers, as scouts, as broadcasters, play-by-play analysts, statisticians, whatever. Some kind of plan, and ideally, it's a kind of plan where we can take the kids from the local high school or whatever, or the local college, and take them like, yeah, okay, you were raised in Milwaukee, good. We want you, like, build up the Bucks. This is your home team. Build them up. Right? We need some kind of plan to turn these kids in your city into these coaches, into these trainers, into these broadcasters, whatever. And you need some kind of checks and balances, like to make sure, like if this doesn't happen, like we're not playing. Like the 64 All-Star game. We didn't get these things. We're not playing. And the things they're asking for, these aren't necessarily, you know, overnight things, but it's like, okay, we need like tangible blueprints. We need dates when these things, steps of these plans at least, should happen. And if they don't, this is what we're doing or not doing, whatever they decide. Like they're talking about every owner gave $1 million. Okay, that's not enough. Sorry. And again, I don't like to be, you know, people with their money should do this or whatever. But when you're talking about billionaires, each giving $1 million, there'll probably be some sort of write-off. Meanwhile, it's, you know, Zion and Embiid are offering to cover like the stadium workers' pay during quarantine because the owners wasn't going to pay them. That's why I'm like, it ain't enough. So those are the kind of things I think I would ask for, right? Like I'm not expecting you as the owner of the Bucks or whoever to fix the world or even the country. But I will say we can control our team though. We can make sure we get some women in scouting and stats, and some black people on the coaching staff, and some brown people. Some, I would say, even overseas, right? Like we have a huge overseas influence. We'll probably see more of those guys getting guys and women getting coaching jobs from overseas. So those are the kind of things I think I would be looking for. I know we're at the hour mark now. I ain't even going to say how many questions are left. How about that? Because when I do and be like, we're not going to go that much longer, y'all screenshot it. You call me a liar right to my face, and it hurts my feelings. But the next question, Bass Carson. Shout out Bass Carson, man. Holding it down in the Discord. Shout out to everybody in Discord, particularly Bass Carson. You be administrating the shit out the cord. Bass Carson asks, who are some people you would love to interview? It doesn't have to be just legends, but who are some people I would like to interview? It's a short list, man. It's a really short list. Like, there's not a lot of people I would like to interview. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love Young Thug, but I don't want to interview him. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's a lot of people like that. Iverson comes to mind, but he's like, I just like to talk to him. It doesn't have to be recorded. It would just be the Chris Farley show. Like, you remember when you dunked and you swung around and you hit your head on the backboard? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, that was sick. And that's the whole episode. So Iverson, maybe Jordan. Maybe I think I've done enough like reading and watching about him. I think I could hopefully get a chuckle or get him to open up a little bit, give some good answers. Maya Moore. Those are probably the three that come to mind. Iverson, Jordan, Maya Moore. Next question. BP Cody 95 says, can you talk about how crazy Wayne Gretzky's stats are? This is something it won't be today, but Wayne Gretzky definitely deserves a deep dive. This will be just kind of a brief deep dive. The thing about Gretzky, it's like, I don't know what hockey records are, right? So like I looked this up now. It said like most goals in a season, 92. I have no idea what that means. You know what I'm saying? Like you tell me, yeah, he led the league in scoring. He averaged 35 a game. I'm like, oh, well, he was cold. But like that, so it's like that means nothing to me. But this next one, I'm looking at a list of he has 10 unbreakable records, which wild. Most assists in a season. He had 163 assists in a season. Again, I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. But this gives the context. He had 163 assists. The person who finished second in points, which is points and assists, if I'm not mistaken, was Mario Lemieux. He had 141. He had 141 points and assists. Gretzky only had 163 assists. It said today's leading point scorers average like between 100 and 110 points in a single year. He had 163 assists. So that's just absurd. Obviously, most assists in a career. It brings up, you take away all of Hank Aaron's home run, he's still got 3,000 hits. Just kind of the testament to what kind of a complete player he was. And if you take away all of Gretzky's 894 goals, he'd still be the all-time leading scorer. That's terrifying. Like I get 9 MVPs. That's one of those. Yeah, that's really good. I think that's a lot. But then he gets like most career points. He is the only player to have more than 2,000 points, and he has 970 more than the runner-up, Messier. And Messier played in 270 more games. So it's one of those. That's, again, I won't do all 10 because he deserves his own deep dive one day because Gretzky's that dude. Also, fire name alert. Wayne Gretzky. That's elite naming, man. Like his parents was like, no, this nigga's gonna be a star. Come on, man. Next question. Maxwell Klitsky asked me, who are voices in sports and elsewhere you think should be amplified, not only in moments like now, but in general as well? Good question. I would say, from Bleacher Report, Taylor Rooks, Master Tesfacion, Full disclosure, those two are friends of mine, but they also do great work. I feel like they do great work, great objective work. They're not afraid to, like, they'll tell either side of it. There's no agenda there. I think Malika Andrews from ESPN is doing some great work down in the bubble. Ariel Chambers, I think she's with House of Hoops. She does a lot of WNBA work. She does great work. Bomani, I mean, it's kind of goes without saying, but on stuff like this and just stuff in general, he's just a lot better at this than people are in general. Zora Stevenson, I saw the other day during that Bucks broadcast. It was Marquise Johnson, Zora Stevenson, and another man. I can't think of his name, but all three of them did great work. Chantel Powell, someone I followed for a while. She does great work, Sports Illustrated. Hannah Georges, I hope I said her last name right. She's going to beat me up. From The Atlantic. Those are just the people, just in general. They're just in general. Like over sports, life stuff. Hannah writes like a lot of like in-depth stuff for The Atlantic. Those are just like the voices that, a couple of the names and voices that I trust, that I go to. Next question, a two-parter. Wow. First question, what are you doing to keep yourself good mentally right now and could recommend to us to try to do the same? Second question, what's the most absurd take you've seen on the internet? Doesn't have to be now or recently, but just one of the all-time bad takes. I will answer the first question first, is what I'll do. What am I doing to keep my mental health? Dude, I say this in all seriousness, you are asking the wrong guy. I got nothing, dude. I'm not even gonna hold you. I ain't sleeping right. I'm not eating right. I'm not exercising. I ain't drinking water. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not hanging with friends. Like, I don't really have many friends, especially in this area. Like, I'm not seeing friends. I'm not going for walk. Like, I ain't doing none of that shit. So I do the opposite of those things. Drink you some water and eat right and do some jumping jacks and see your friends. But I don't. I know it sounds so like pessimistic, negative. I just don't know what to tell you. I ain't got shit, man. So the second part, most absurd take. It's not even really a take. It's just the most absurd thing to me about the internet in general is that there's just no consensus. There's nothing universal we can agree on. We can't all agree that we like pizza or chicken or ice cream or Outcast or like nothing. There is nothing in like whatever you say. It's like, I like Oxygen, and you're going to be hit with the 575,000 retweets with comments about how whack Oxygen is. So that's probably the wildest take I've seen. Next question, JHam77 asks, most with the shit's former athletes currently. This list is one name long, and it was a name that immediately came to mind. Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley. I'm thankful. I think I've talked to Oak on 3 separate occasions, and he has not ran my pockets yet. Knock on wood. So that grand opening, grand closing. Charles Oakley. Next question. Top 5 characters from Peaky Blinders and why? 1, Tommy. Right? It's got to be Tommy. He's just the coolest, dude. The smoking, the fits. Got the ladies, single father. He's just in control at all times. Tommy's 1. After him, it's in no particular order. I like Arthur. I like Arthur a lot because Arthur's like, he's battling his demons. It's like what I should be doing and what I'm good at doing. And that's a bitch of a fight. And on top of that, he got to fight with his old lady, man. Like, not physically, but she, Linda be on his head. So, relatable. May Carlton. I love May Carlton. May Carlton is she's just a boss, man. She a boss. She got her own money, own stables. Fuck a nigga. She basically like a city girl. Like, she wanted Tommy. She really fucked with Tommy. But she was like, I'm good with her without you. You know what I'm saying? You can come back to the mansion, or I'll go back to the mansion. So I like May Carlton a lot. From this last season, man, Oswald Mosley. Because that motherfucker is evil. You got to have a great villain. And that motherfucker is evil. That's a great villain. I can't wait to see where they go with the way they ended was it season 4 or 5? Whatever the most recent season was. Because he got to come back, man. That guy just died. He's one of those, if I see that guy in real life, I might run his fade, man. I might do it. And 5th, Linda. I know I was shitting on her a couple seconds ago, but Linda, she's another great foil. Linda's Arthur's wife. She's the stickiest stick in the mud. But she have her shit together, man. She called Tommy on them numbers. She be getting his ass together, making sure Arthur get his cut. She religious, but she stick with it. Like, it ain't no hypocrite. She on her shit. So that's my top 5. It's subject to change, like next time I watch it, as with any great show. Next question from the Tom Penny. Maybe a little music talk. Maybe not, Tom. No. I feel like I've been listening to old stuff. I'm going to go to my Apple Music, see what I've been listening to. I feel like as of recently, hasn't been too much new stuff. I've been listening to like Hall & Oates. I've been listening to the Eagles. I've been listening to Frankie Beverly. Nate Dogg, Nina Simone, Danger Doom, Rolls Royce. Like, I've been on kind of my old shit. Melissa Etheridge, Come to My Window, fucking bangs. Yeah, I've been on some old shit, man. Because Hall & Oates got the bangers, daddy. Next question. So, tangentially related to the best sporting moment from the last pod, what is your all-time favorite gaming moment or story? I've got two. The first, this was Madden, I don't even know. Like 05, 06, I don't know. When Madden was like really good, when it was like worth playing, you had the off-season camps. So whichever one of those, I was playing in the Super Bowl. I had a created receiver. And it was one of those, like, we gave up the score. Like, they drove, we scored, went up with like, I don't know, a minute and a half left. Left too much time on the clock. They scored and went up with literally like 4 seconds left. And I was like, fuck, like, this is the Super Bowl. So my created wide receiver, I ran the kickback. I think it was 104 yards, and we won the Super Bowl. That was one of those, like, you have a good video game moment, like you be hyped in your real life, man, because it was just like, oh my god, like I need a miracle here. And then you run, you're like, okay, I see some daylight, and then you break it, and then you got that, like, I got one man to beat, and you beat it, time expired, and we won the Super Bowl. Like, I'm listing 2, but as I re-said that, I feel like that has to be 1. But 2, this was, okay, whatever year the Astros won the World Series. Like MLB, I don't know, 2018, like the year before, the game prior to them winning it. I had a center fielder on there. He was cold. And again, we were in the championship, in the World Series. We were in Game 7 in Houston, down 4-2, bottom of the 9th, and I come up at bat. I hit a solo home run, 4-3. Next batter after me, I think it was Lance McCullers, I think. Solo home run, 4-4. Next batter, George Springer, solo home run, 5-4. We go into the bottom of the 9th, down 4-2, and back-to-back solo home runs won me the World Series. So it's those 2. I'm not even sure what's even close. Like, those are 2 of the better moments in my life. Not a lot going on for Whiskers. Next question. Out of all the artists who have declined in quality over the years, like T.I. or Lupe, who would you want most to drop an album as good as their old stuff? This is another, like the Oakley one. One name came to mind. Jay-Z. No more finger pointing. No more art talk. Man, like I am begging you to talk about selling drugs. I am like, okay, you rapped about, you stepped out on the missus. You should have bought some art and a condo a long time ago. I'm on hands and knees, Daddy, begging you, please rap about cocaine. So it's got to be Jay-Z. Next question, another two-parter. You think any of the NBA owners are actually with the shits, or do you think it's all posturing to make it look like they're a progressive league, or that they care about these issues? Personally, I don't believe a single one of them. Not one. Not a single one of them. And the reason for that is the more that I see, the more that I learn, I just feel like I don't know if you get to $1 billion by caring about other people. That's not to say there aren't like billionaires that are nice people. I don't know any, because I don't know any fucking billionaires. But it just doesn't seem like you get there by caring about others. It seems like I just saw Bezos hit $200 billion. He's the only person ever to have $200 billion. And he also, I think recently, I saw he had like cut some workers' benefits for his company. Not even like for the bottom line, just because he could. Just because he could. It is what it is. So no, I don't believe. I think it's all Cappington, man. I don't believe that shit at all. The largest cap, enormous sombrero. I don't believe a single one of them. And the second part of that, on a lighter note, rank your favorite pairs of Jordans. Okay, I will. I have got, in order, give me the 11s, the patent leather. I think the white shoe with the black patent leather, that blue bottom. I think that's maybe the most beautiful shoe I've ever seen. Maybe. The 12s, the taxi, the white with the black on the side, those are cold. And I got 8s in third. Like double strap, I've just, like the colors they come up with, I've always really liked the 8. So 11s, 12s, 8s are my top 3 Jordans. Next question from Lamar. Did you see anything in the Celtics from round 1 that makes you think they can beat the Raptors? It's tough. Because it's tough for both sides. Like both of those teams were playing teams that were like ready for vacation. Like Raptors against the Nets, Celtics against the Sixers. Those teams were ready to go. So it's tough. But I think the Raptors' size is going to hurt Boston. I think it's really going to hurt them because you go, like Boston's got the kind of, center by committee. And the Raptors have like Marc Gasol. So it's going to be like Marc Gasol versus Enes Kanter. It's going to be like Serge Ibaka using his old man tricks in Massive Hog against like Robert Williams. It's going to be like Chris Boucher just like jumping over Grant Williams' head. So I think the size is what hurts Boston there. Hayward hurts too, though. Like the loss of Hayward, maybe this boycotting business gets Gordon Hayward back. Because Boston has they've got their 3 20-point-a-game guys like Tatum, Jalen, and Kemba. And then Hayward's kind of the in-between. And the rest of their guys, it works. They're all role players. But it's like Tice will get his 9. Marcus Smart will get his 12. Grant Williams will get his 4. So when you're missing Hayward, a guy who's like that 15 but can also be a 20-plus guy, the matchup's right. I think that hurts because the Raptors just have so many scores. Like the Raptors have, I think it's like 3 guys at like 18 a game, and 3 or 4 more guys like in between like that, like 10 to 16, like the Norm Powells, the Ibaka didn't. I don't think Ibaka missed a shot in the first round. So I'll still go Toronto there, but that should be a good series if and when we get it. Next question. Would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? We got an old classic. Give me the horse-sized ducks, man. Give me the horse-sized ducks. I'd fuck a duck up. Like the wings don't really concern me. You can't ball a wing into a fist. They don't even have teeth. You know what I'm saying? They got those teeth-like things, but they ain't teeth. You know what I'm saying? Those aren't teeth. You get bit by a horse, horses got teeth, nigga. Them shits got teeth. So, and also, it's only 1. Like, I'm at the final ball. Like, I don't want to fight 100 of anything. I don't want to fight 100 duck-sized ducks. You know what I mean? So one horse-sized duck, light work, man. He stick up one of them flappers, man. I got him in the fucking sharpshooter. Light work. Next question. Gangsta Cal 813. What did you think you wanted to do for work when you got out of college? Or at what point did you realize maybe you wanted to shift paths in life? And how did you act on that? It's a good question, Gangsta Cal. Good question. Oh, yeah, I've been listening to a lot of some Steely Dan, too. That made me think about drinking my big black cow and getting out of here. What did I think I wanted to do for work when I got out of college? Man, I had no idea. I had zero idea, in all honesty. I was a business management major, and the only reason I was that was because it got me out of school the quickest. Like, I hate school. I hated every single day of school for 13 years, K through 12, then another 4. So I was like, get me out of here. Whatever I can get out of here with the quickest, I will get out of here with. And I remember saying that to like my advisor, and she was just like shaking her head. I was like, listen, I get it, but I'm not passionate about anything. I don't want to do any of this. So through college, I worked at a shoe store, and I talked quite a bit. Like we weren't, the district manager, he didn't live in the city, but we were one of the closer stores. So he was in there a lot. We had a good relationship. So I talked with him quite a bit. Like after I graduated, I have this management degree. I've got this experience in store. You know, maybe I could go into like the management program. Because like being in his shoes, district manager, couple of shoe stores, I could do that. I wouldn't want to do it, but I could do it. So, you know, I graduated, called, emailed him, never heard back. I worked at Kroger's, like bagging groceries in high school. And I went back I had a manager there. It was I went off to college, and, you know, you ever need anything when you get out of school, you know, look me up, give me a call. We'll see what we can do. So I did that, went back to him. Nothing. Didn't hear a word. Like, okay, maybe I can manage me a little Kroger or Publix. You know what I'm saying? I could wear the shirt and tie and point at things and sit at a desk. I think I could do that. So I ended up getting a job like through a family friend. And it wasn't in management, but it was a gig. And I did that for 3 years. And for 3 years, that was a accounting type gig, and I transferred over. I did a little IT work for 2 years. But before let me say this. Don't major in management. If you're in school right now, don't major in management, and I'll tell you why. If you get good enough at anything, they will let you manage other people at it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever your job is right now, you get good enough at it, they will let you manage the other people. Like, rightfully so. Like, that's not a knock. That's to say, get a degree in something else, because, like, I felt that way about, like, journalism. Right? You get good enough at anything, they will let you write about it. Right? They'll do the MLA format and all that. If you're good enough, you just write. They'll figure that part out. So, don't major in management. Not without a focus, I would say. Like, if you want to go into sports management, restaurant management, hotel management, something like that. But just business vague management, I would not recommend. I don't know where my degree is. I remember when I graduated, I gave it to my mother. And I was like, I'm good on ever seeing this ever again. So don't go into management. And the second part of that, what point did I realize I wanted to shift paths, and how did I act on that? Man, I shifted paths when I got fired. Like that. I decided to shift paths when the path was shifted for me. I got fired from the IT job. No warning. I wasn't given a reason. Georgia is an at-will state where they do not have to give you a reason. I have my inklings on why, but I was never told anything. So that path shifted for me. That shifted for me. I was unemployed for a year after that. I could not find a job to save my life. Then I started at Barstool. I did that for close to 4 years until, again, as of recently, I shifted when it felt like the path was kind of shifted for me. You know what I mean? It felt like when that was the only option, that's when I shifted. I went into that, and here I am now. So I say that to say, like, there's no way in college, even though I didn't want to be there, didn't want to get a degree, all that, there's no way I could have prepped then for what I do now. Or I guess what I did do, I should say. Because it just didn't exist. There was barely social media. There wasn't no social media analyst, you know what I'm saying, when I was in school. So, yeah, try not to major in something vague. It hasn't proven beneficial for me, I would say. So, yeah, that's my resume. Next question. Aside from a cane chokeslam, what are your favorite wrestling finishers? I mean, chokeslam's easily number one. Like, I asked that this week. Like, what, if you're fitness buff, tell me what muscles do I need to work on to be able to just chokeslam a nigga through, like, a canvas wrestling ring? Is it core? Is it core? Is it my delts? Is it my deltoids? Is it my trapezius? Like, what do I need to work to just, you know what I'm saying? Somebody step on my shoes, you grab his throat, and he's so shocked, he don't know what to do. You flip his right arm over your shoulder and up, bam, right to hell. So it's chokeslam easily number one, but aside from that, I'm a tactician, man. I'm a tactician. I like any kind of groundwork, any kind of leg move. Love the sharpshooter. I love the lion tamer is probably my favorite. Because if you grew up like wrestling with your friends, your cousins or whatever like that, that was my move. Because if I got you in the line, you was in trouble. I wouldn't stop until I got my knee on your head, just like Chris Jericho. So figure four. Figure four was a good one. Too complicated though. Very complicated. Torture rack. I remember I put a guy in a torture rack, and I got in trouble. I had to stay after school because he started crying. Like, you talk about torture. I was like fourth grade, fifth grade. Steiner recliner, just because it was the wrestling move. It seemed, I don't know, not the easiest to get out of, but you just sit there and just let him pull on your chin a little bit. You just grab his legs, and he threatens to just pop your head right off your neck. But of the lion tamer definitely my favorite, because you just helpless, man. You in the middle of the square, the ropes ain't around, the ref giving you no love, you can't reach your tag partner, and he got his knee on your head. Next question. Actually, no, this wasn't even a question, but I did want to mention this. Shout out to Lamar for answering this question. Somebody asked, when we do the fireside chats, those are Saturdays, 8 p.m., when we do those, I send out the link to the close personal friends, and people were saying that they can view it, but they're not able to like get into the chat and ask questions. So I'm going to put the YouTube link, like you have to embed it, but I'll also throw it in the post so people could link it. It should pop out. But also from Lamar, he says, on mobile, once you start watching the YouTube on Patreon, press and hold the title of the broadcast, and the option to open link should pop up. That'll take you to the YouTube app, and you'll be able to talk. And he says on desktop, just click the title of the broadcast. It'll take you to YouTube. So on, sounds like mobile or desktop, if you click or long hold on the title, it'll just say, fireside chat number 5, I think, Ron. Hold that. That should take you over to YouTube to chat. You will have to log in with your YouTube account, but after that, you should be chatting. So that was for A-Money05. Appreciate Lamar answering that. Look forward to chatting with A-Money tomorrow night. Next question. This probably needs some more time. JTR asks, what are my top 5 Chappelle skits? That's kind of like the Gretzky one. I'm putting a pin in that one because I may have to do I got to do some actual research on that. Like, he deserves more than that, more than the me trying to think of them off the top. I got to do some actual research, but I will. So I'm putting a pin in that one. Next question, does MJ's perception change at all by being a voice of reason per every sports news outlet ever in this situation? And to that I say, we'll see. We will see, because I do think that we are past talk. So I'm not too much concerned about voices of reason, right? So if he changes, it ain't because he was a voice of reason. It's because he took some action. And I said earlier, I don't believe any of these owners. He is an owner. That stands true. But I will say, he's trying. He's doing something. You know what I mean? Like, if you remember a couple of years ago, he put up, I think, $1 million each for like the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, but then also gave $1 million to the International Association Chiefs of Police. So that's one of those, you have to see what the words lead to and what the actions are. I know as of recently, he committed, I think it was $100 million, $10 million a year for the next 10 years to fight racism. And I'm sure there are like more detailed, where that money is going to go and the good it's going to do. So like, those are great starts. Like that guy's came a long way, billionaire, owner of a team, and he's still a black man from the South, man. So it's the words have been good so far. The actions have been good, and hopefully it keeps up. Like the thing we saw from The Last Dance, was a Harvey Gantt. He said he was focused on basketball. He said that wasn't really his spot, and now it sounds like his stances on that have changed and matured, which is very respectable. So again, we'll see. It's not so much about voice of reason. Let's see what the actions look like, because I do know that he's put a lot of people in power. A lot of people of color are in power in the Charlotte Hornets organization, as well as the Jordan brand. So I tend to believe him. So hopefully we'll see. Maybe he can be, again, that voice of reason, whatever. More so, hopefully, inspiration, man. Like, you talk about a player that finessed it and turned it into something. And, the Jordan brand helped, but these guys are making contract money to where they won't even need their shoe money. And at the end of this, I can't wait for like every all-star in the league right now to just own a different team in 20 years. That'd be great. The last question. Will she come back, Trilly? And the answer is no. The answer is no. She will not come back. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Right? That's not necessarily a bad thing. Get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? I could do bad by myself. So if she made, the decision that was right for her to leave, you should respect that. But also, why you want her back? You know what I'm saying? Do you miss her? Do you miss the convenience? You miss the routine? Something that helped me was anytime I feel like that, anytime you're ready to send that text you probably shouldn't send, I had like note documents of like everything that made me mad about that person. And not like a running list at the time, like August 5th, drink all the milk. Like, not like that. But just looking back, when you missing her or him, whoever, think about like how they never put the cap on the toothpaste, or how they put their feet up in your car. Like, you know what I'm saying? The stuff like that. It's enough of those to where you read the list and you be like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing all right. Right? Like, if I'm be down bad, I'm be by myself or with some people that want to be here. So, hey, if nothing else, think of the money you saving. In quarantine, I can't imagine having a girl during quarantine. Y'all eating out. Y'all, you paying extra for delivery. You know what I'm saying? So, count your blessings, man. Count your blessings. Think of all the money you saving. And how when you find your next queen, she's going to be ready to finance your dreams and all your lifestyle. But for now, she's not coming back. But listen, she made the decision. It was right for her. Respect that. On to the next. Like, you moving on. We're looking forward, not back. That was the last question. There's one more thing I wanted to say. It's not a question, though, and then we will get out of here. AT&T Lily. AT&T Lily. If you don't know, like the AT&T commercials, the white lady in the store that be talking about like everybody have one, like Flo from Progressive, dude you getting a deal. I don't want to call it mascot because they're people, but they're a spokesperson, I guess should say. She came out. Well, I guess she had been getting like her name been popping up a lot because I don't know if people like found her personal Instagram or found out she's just like a regular actress with pictures of her not in AT&T uniform, and she did I think it was an Instagram live the other day, and she was talking about how I think she said it make her feel, I can't remember the word, worthless or something. It hurts her feelings because she's in there and all people are commenting, like milk and talking about, her body and how she look outside the AT&T uniform. And it's not just her. She's the one that was on my mind because I saw that Instagram live, and I feel like since then AT&T been putting them commercials everywhere. So listen, business is business. But again, it ain't just her. Like she can be attractive and wear what she wants. She still deserves the right to go on social media and unwind like the rest of us without seeing milk or what. You know what I'm saying? And like I see Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor can't post shit. Taylor Rooks can't post shit. Carrie Champion can't post. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like let them do their fucking job, man. Like, stop being a dickhead. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here because I know that nobody listening to this is doing that kind of behavior, right, guys? But see, like it's so, I don't know. It's just so disheartening. It's so rude that they don't get to say opinions. They don't get to do their job. They don't even get to really like exist, without their looks being brought up. And the thing is, it goes on both ends. Like whatever a woman say online, her looks will be brought up, whether people like her looks or people don't like their looks, it'll be brought up. And I feel like at the very least, if I feel this way about my mentions. If you're gonna hate me or be a piece of shit, do it in your mentions, not mine. Right? Because I didn't tweet my opinion to your mentions. You probably signed up for it. So I feel like at the very least, goddamn, like, can you keep the milk and all the things said like in your group chat? You know what I'm saying? Can you keep that in the group chat? At the very least, can you not do it in their mentions or their comments? You know what I'm saying? Like, God forbid that we respect women that we don't find attractive. You know what I'm saying? And like, if you're only respecting the women that you find attractive, then you're exactly what you get mad at when women say you're trash. Right? They're not wrong. And I say this not me sitting high looking low. I say this as someone blocked by Sage Steele, rightfully so, because I don't know, I said something about, if you remember, it was a clip of her and Jalen Rose, the way they was talking, just I don't know. But I said dumb shit and got rightfully blocked. Remember I told Rosario Dawson, I was like, I could cobble together 4 or 5 minutes of good love for you. And she blocked me. And she should have. Because that's dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? It's harassment and it's stupid. And so, again, I say that I'm not shaking my finger. I'm just telling you, I've been there. Don't do that. Stop it. Get some help. You know what I'm saying? I've been that dumb, that immature. Grow up. Grow up. If you're going to say this shit, again, do it with your boys in the group or with your girls in the group chat. But, man, oh, man, it's just so disheartening. Like, if you remember the Donovan Mitchell, he accidentally posted something on the gram. And it sounded like he was watching a porno or he was clapping some cheeks or something. And it was automatically being assumed who was in the room with them just because, like, they were down there in the bubble. Like, that's whack. It ain't no way around it. Like, that shit whack, man. So, like, for her to say, like, that hurts her feelings when she really can't even just do, like, an Instagram live. That stuck with me. That stuck with me. So I did want to say that, be respectful. I ain't going to tell you don't be horny. Because 2020 been the horniest year. Just in general. Not even, like, just the world, dog. Everybody jonesing. But Like, God, like, can these women do their job? You know what I'm saying? Can they post on social media and get away from the shit they're trying to get away from, just like we doing? Also, I'm sorry, Rosario. Sage, I think Sage still kind of proving herself to be not the kind of company that we like to see, or that likes to see us. I should say. So I don't mind that one so much. I was still wrong. I was clearly wrong, but I don't mind being blocked there. Rosario, I'm sorry. But again, she with Cory Booker, man. I don't know if I'm on that kind of time either. It is what it is. But that is this week's fun report. That was volume 5, I believe. So we are about a full month into this thing. I may do some tweaks or some changes to like the tiers or everything. I wanted to leave everything the same for a month just to see how it's going. So I mean, y'all tell me. Y'all like, are you enjoying this? Do you feel like you're getting your money's worth? Do you feel like this is somewhere you want to be? I know it's been a lot of that in the Discord, and I'm telling you, if you don't know a thing about Discord, trust me, I didn't either. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. You just go into like your Patreon account. It comes with the subscription. You go into your account. I think you click settings or subscriptions. You click my name, and it should let you link it. That'll take you into the Discord. Give it a shot. We got some channels there. I got a good administrator. I got good moderators there. I pop my head. I feel like this. The good thing is it runs completely independent of me. Like I pop in, they hate to see. I'm like dad. I'm like when the teacher's back from the bathroom. That's when I pop up. So I'd recommend that. It's a place that we try to keep generally positive, but it's roasting. I've seen people get in on people's head. It's disagreements, it's debates, arguments, all that. But we're trying to do it in a place where like people feel comfortable to disagree. Right? And you can disagree, nothing wrong with that. But you should feel comfortable to disagree. You should feel comfortable to be there. Again, just like any of these women should feel comfortable to post, or just, work and do their jobs. So that'll do it for this week. I hope y'all are taking care of yourself. I hope y'all are washing y'all's hands. I hope y'all are wearing y'all's masks. I'm still on the gram, and y'all been eating a whole lot at the fucking restaurant, man. Again, not y'all, because the people listening here, y'all good people, right? But y'all getting a little too brunchy for this, man. But yeah, wear your mask. Keep your distance. Try to do something this week that positively impacts somebody other than yourself. And we will catch y'all next week.